today, it's a yearly Rapid Arena. This is an 8-hour long tournament of 10-minute chess. And I think the goal is to hop in and try and be instructive, try and show how to beat amateurs at chess. Maybe I can work my way up and play some stronger players. Grandmaster Pop is leading, but is currently paused. And yeah, no more wasting time hopping in. If this goes on YouTube, shout out to people in the future watching on YouTube. Yeah, maybe today I'll play a variety of openings, but I'll try and like play at a decent level and show the difference between maybe my level and some lower level players. Is this my opponent's first ever game on Lichess? They have no rating. I think this is our first rated game. Good luck. Let's play some normal move, at least to start out. We have a London. So against the London, I usually like to play like a quick c5. Sometimes I start with knight f6. Sometimes I play c5 right away. Okay, we'll play knight c6. It's nice having this setup with the knight behind the pawn. And I can play queen b6 right away. Actually, a few options here. I think I'll start with knight f6. Knight d2. This is a fine move. Okay. Play a more like safe variation of taking and then bishop f5. Nothing too special. Just developing the pieces. So this move is not the most common. But I don't think it really changes my plan. It's still bishop f5. And the setup is essentially e6, queen b6, maybe bishop b4. Have to be a little bit careful about the knight. I'll play queen b6 to start. Yeah, welcome to more people. Antoine, Guy Bronze. See some anniversary and birthday wishes, but yeah, it's just a yearly Rapid Arena. So queen b3. So a6 looks enticing, but that would blunder my queen basically. And white is threatening to take, and then take, and then take, and maybe win a pawn. So rook c8 looks like a solid like defense. I think I'll play rook c8. Okay, now 95 might be coming. There's some pressure here. Like, it's not the type of position I can just like nonchalantly develop. So if I play bishop e7, already knight e5, and there's 3 attackers. And white would be threatening to take, trade queens, and then win a pawn. So I think I have to do something a bit prophylactic. Like I'll play knight d7, which breaks the pin and discourages knight e5. If knight e5, I'll take and won't lose anything. Okay, now I'm trying complete development. Welcome back to Most Deadly Cow. Okay. White played the opening really well until this move. Gifting me a rook. That could have been a mouse slip. Like maybe rook c3 was intention. Or maybe my opponent was not aware of my sniper bishop. Okay. So now it's a matter of actually transforming my material advantage into something greater. Or maybe just a matter of winning more material. Queen b2. Now this pawn's under attack. Rook b1 runs into this move. Not quite mating. White has the f1 square, but making good progress. So I basically have a rook and pawn for knight. The rook is going to show its power very soon. So f3. There's a lot of ways to do this. Thinking rook c2. Rook c2, knight b3. Bishop b4. Okay, let's play bishop b4. The eventual plan is to double with my queen and rook on the first rank. And somehow checkmate. Okay, now let's play rook c2. So, ooh, it defends. So there's 3 attackers and 3 defenders. Everything's staring at the knight on d2. I think what I can do is like take everything and then fork in the end. Yeah, we'll go for mass simplification. This is going to lead to a king-pawn ending where I'm up 2 pawns. I'm just keeping things very, very simple. Oh no, my queen. But oh no, white's queen. Wait, did I miss a free bishop? I miss a free bishop? Wait. Chat's telling me I missed a free bishop. I don't see where I missed a free bishop, though. I can go back and analyze after the game. Yeah, generally these endings are winning even if you're up just 1 pawn. 2 pawns is more than enough. It was way earlier. Wait, now I'm trying to think. Is b5 hanging? Did I trust my opponent too much? Okay. Did I really miss a free bishop? So queen was defending the bishop. Oh, I missed a free bishop. I was so excited about taking the rook and completing development. Yeah, the queen was overworked. Oops. Okay. Well, that's a wake up. I think white was doing fine out of opening. Like this move, I don't see too often. It's kind of like an exchange Slav. Apparently knight h4 was best. Okay. Well, let's move on. Thankfully, my blind spot did not cost me the game there. Welcome back to more people. Thanks for all the resubs. Shadow Wizard, you're a serious star. Awkward Knight, Crocodile Style. Okay, I'll play e4. a5 pre-moved. Okay, let's show no mercy here. So we have kind of a French but down a tempo. Okay. Interesting. This is some new opening. This is very new opening. I probably shouldn't overthink this. I should probably just develop my pieces. Bishop f4. Do I need to play a3? I'll play a3. Just for good measure. There are cases where I bring the knight out and actually here maybe knight d2. I'm dreaming of knight c4. Yeah, sometimes the way that you punish this opening is just by like following basic principles. Like control the center, develop the pieces. Black's developed a single thing in the first 8 moves. Okay, I'm looking for targets. Maybe c4. c4, c5, and then my knight can hop into some juicy squares. I could have played knight c4 immediately. Yeah, that was probably more active. Position like this, I'm a bit spoiled for choice. Okay, queen c2. Being patient. c5 should be coming soon. I'm waiting for d5. It really seemed like black was preparing d5. Oh, and it's played. Okay. The problem with playing d5 in such a position is when the position opens up, my pieces are better placed, and tactics are about to happen. So I can take the knight and then essentially remove the guard of the pawn. No mercy here. Thanks for all the hype chats. Thank you, followers, for 35 months. Okay, queen e5. Queen e5, bishop e7. Maybe queen g5. So tying down the bishop to the g-pawn. Ooh, but do I want to take the g-pawn? I think here I'll start with pawn e5. Make the knight move. It looks scary because there's a lot of discoveries. But wherever the knight moves, I take the pawn, and then there's no rook g8. Yeah, black was a little bit late to develop the minor pieces. A nice thing about this move, it frees up the e4 square for the knight. So for example, if knight d5 takes rook f8, knight e4, hopefully I can orchestrate some mating ideas. I will say my opponent's moves have not been easy to predict this game, but the last two moves were more predictable. What to do though? Knight e4, knight f4. Okay, I'll start with knight e4. Knight f4, bishop c4. And black is really kind of tied down here. But I'm still looking for the final blow. Maybe knight g5 at some point. It would be nice if my queen was a knight. A smother mate. These moves are not quite smother mate because bishop takes. I was thinking of like if it's my move again, I play knight fg5. And then if takes, I play knight d6 and Yeah, some eventual mates. Knight g5 also going after f7. Opponents taking their time. Thank you to Pabian Xanin, subbing for 2 months. That's a move. Actually, b5 now I can't really... Or can I? I could play bishop a2. And then knight d3. b5 was actually a good move. Bishop a2. I have to be a little bit careful, actually. I either allow knight d3, or I just retreat the bishop to some sad place. I'm thinking of counterattacking, like pawn g3. Or queen h6. No, queen h6 hangs g2. There. I think I'll just play bishop a2. It allows b4. It's a type of position. If I had this against Magnus Carlsen, I think Magnus would be able to like stir up some counterplay. Like knight d3, queen a5. But it's still really good. I'm up a knight and 3 pawns. I didn't play knight g5 there because pawn digs bishop, and then there'd be one less attacker against the pawn. Okay, now I can play this. I probably just want a castle very soon. Okay, so b4 played. Kudos to my opponent for stirring up something. Can I play this now, though? Knight c4. b3, I take the queen. Knight d3. Yeah, let's do this. And if the queen moves, I have knight d6 check. Yeah, there goes the queen. This is a common mistake. Like sometimes when you discover check, it's easy to forget that the piece moving is not doing the checking. It's the piece that's unleashed. Okay, so now I just have to make sure this pawn doesn't queen. Castle. Safety first. Or safety 25th. There are a lot of other priorities before castling. Was I not up at knight? Oh, I wasn't up at knight. It was knight for bishop. I was up 3 pawns, though. A struggle with counting. Okay, let's play this move. X-ray against the king. Hey, it's Kavita. Welcome back. Happy 17 months. Okay, king is hiding. So this position, basically queen for minor piece. And looks like I'll be winning the rook soon. Black could block on e2 though. Wait, yeah, this is force mate. Rook e7. King moves here, it's mate in 1. King moves here, it's mate in 2. Okay. So, obscure opening for the second game. But eventually managed. Yeah, sometimes this is why it's like when first starting out chess, it's important to understand principles rather than memorize specific theory. Does this have a name though? What is this called? No name? Oh, the Ware Defense. Also kind of a reverse crab. Like a4, h4, or a5, h5 in this case. Wait, did my opponent spell something? A-E-C-H. They almost spelled ache, but it was a little bit out of order. I wasn't paying attention to what the notation spelled. Thank you, James Black, for the birthday bits. Okay, so that's 2 games. If you're just joining, this is a yearly Rapid Arena. I did late join the tournament. Hopefully I'll get in a handful of games. The theme here is I'm trying to just be instructive, try and show how to win against low-rated players. I'm playing a Ding-inspired opening. For those that maybe didn't see, hopefully this isn't much of a spoiler, but Ding did play this today in the World Championship. Nepo played e5 on move 1, though. Black could play e5, but okay, g6. Probably going for King's Indian. Yeah, let's go into King's Indian. I will admit this is not an opening I willingly go into that often, but I've looked at lines over the years. I think I'll play the Averbakh variation, which is bishop e2, castling, and then bishop g5. With King's Indian, there's a lot of different ways for white to configure the pieces. Oh, did Nepo play knight f6? Oh, and then later he played e5. Okay, some people probably know better than me. Yeah, there are nuances early on with move order. So I guess my opponent could have followed Nepo's play. But c5. Okay, so this is inviting a Benoni. Generally, d5 is like the principal move. There are cases where white can play knight f3 or take, but I'm trying to follow some principles of this opening and grabbing space. A nice thing about the queen and bishop aligned like this is there's no h6. So it's not easy for black to chase away this bishop. Have constant pressure on this diagonal. Like generally, black goes for like e6 or eventual plans of b5. Sometimes b5 even right away. Thank you, Bitcoin boy. Happy 37 months. Also, thank you, Bitcoin Boy, gifting to GM Oni Jr. Okay, so black's preparing b5. I'm wondering if I can just allow it. I mean, I could also play a4. I think I'll play a4. Sometimes the plan in positions like this is just to play very prophylactically, like prevent what the opponent wants to do. Now b5, I just take. If queen a5, I'm thinking about responding with rook a3, ensuring the rook's defended. Thank you to Hen Kukers. Happy 9 months. Oh, G Money. G Money Jr. Apologies for misreading that name. But maybe your new name is just better. Okay, so rook b8. So black really wants to play b5. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things essentially controlling b5. So probably time to complete development. Now, one thing to note is the knight is a bit tied down to the pawn. So there's cases where black plays b5 and it works because if the knight takes and knight takes e4. But in this case, like b5 takes, I probably take with bishop. And it would resemble some Banco Gambit. A very simple plan of castling here and seeing what black is up to. Sometimes, one reason why I don't usually like to play such positions as black, it can feel very cramped. Sometimes hard to find a plan. We might see this maneuver. Get one more piece to support b5. We do see e6. But I'm curious, with e6, it looks like I can take, and then after pawn takes, I take on d6. So I think I'm winning a pawn. Always have to be careful with putting the queen so deep into the opponent's position. But I don't see any way black can really punish the queen. Yeah, so I think basically what happened was I just played a lot of like simple developing moves, some prophylactic moves, and then the opponent just self-destructed. And it can be very common at the lower levels. Like sometimes the way that you get the advantage is just by being patient and waiting for the opportunity. Thank you, Sly Walrus. Asking for Alapin Countergambit. Maybe if the opportunity presents itself. Okay, so black defended against one threat. But I have a second threat that I don't think was covered. Yeah, I think I'm winning more material here. Knight's pinned and now attacked. Sometimes there's ways to get out of this, like h6, but yeah, I can take and then the bishop's hit. So no mercy. Question about hanging rook. Yeah, rook's defended. It can sometimes be easy to miss the backward knight moves. All right, let's play rook d1. And there's also knight e5. Maybe rook d1 first. And knight e5 is a big threat. Hey, it's R. Beasley. Welcome back. Happy 38. Okay, castling. I wouldn't say that I'm playing with my food. If anything, I'm trying to eat my food, but nothing is too consumable except this pawn. I'll take it. Okay, now the knight is, yeah, it was pinned along the d file. Now it's pinned along the diagonal. That's a counterattack. Okay, so now the rook's pinned to the queen. Knight's pinned in two directions. Oh! Well, that almost works. But thankfully I have this move. I also have this move. I'll start with this move. Yeah, this is actually a tactical idea that will sometimes win material, but in this case, yeah, just too many options for white. And yeah, I don't need to take either rook. I assume this is mating. But where's the mate? Okay, that's a triple fork. It's got to be mate in two, I believe. King h5, it's mate. King f4, it's mate. Okay. Well, that was a fun finish. Yeah, I first learned this variation in maybe like 2011 or 2012. Played it for a brief period of time. There's a lot of theory. I think c5 is sometimes a move that black can go for right away. Because I think there's cases where the knight likes to go to c7 from b8. But there's a lot of different options. There's also h6. There's probably e5 here as well. I played Naroditsky once in it was the only classical game I played against Naroditsky, and I played this variation against him. I believe he played c6. He played some weird line, either c6 or knight a6. Maybe it was knight a6, queen d2, c6. Not sure if I can find the game though. At some point, he played some crazy like b5 move. Yeah, I don't think I'm finding the game. It was years ago. It was back in 2012. Okay, back to tournament. Top 1500. 3 games in. Question if I'm following Nepo versus Ding. Yeah, I've been like looking at every game. It's hard to watch live though because games start like 4 a.m. my time. Okay, so we have e3. Another not so theoretical opening. Apologies to the person earlier who wanted an Alapin Countergambit. I'm not berserking. I'm keeping my time. It gives me more time to chill and explain things. Okay, so we have kind of a delayed b3, a Nimzo Larsen. I usually like to play like a London against this setup. Just nice and harmonious. Leave the tension between the bishops. Queen f3, wow. I already want to punish this move. But I should probably just focus on development. Interesting. Yeah, let's not overthink this. Just develop the pieces. I'll complete my setup. I'll probably end up castling queenside. Yeah, building my triangle. I'm very tempted to play this move, queen a5. Like hitting the knight. Maybe provoking it back to c2. Ooh. Yeah, no mercy here. It's a similar theme to last game. Like just putting my pieces on decent squares from the opening, waiting for the gifts to come. Now this is kind of tricky because it does defend the knight, but it also leaves us hanging. And it leaves this hanging. So I think I'll take this pawn first. I'm giving white the chance to castle and then get forked. Oh, castling queenside. Did not see that coming. I could take on d2. Hitting the queen and pawn. Knight's defended by my queen bishop battery. Now, yeah, now I think I take. Although, yeah, let's just trade, simplify a little bit. And this is a fork. So I'm up 4 pawns. I haven't lost a single pawn this game. Might as well trade queens. But there's not much hope of getting connect 8 because I have double pawns. Okay, no mercy. Okay, delayed Bong Cloud. Let's just start pawn storming. Hey, white managed a castle. After castling queenside, white's castled kingside. Alright, let me undouble my pawns. Oh no, my rook. I just want a Rosen trophy. Let's play... Yeah, let's just push pawns. No. Wait, how do I keep my pawns intact? Oh no, my pawn. Don't take my pawn. Push, push, push. No! I lost the pawn. I feel so broken. Oh. Okay. These pawns will avenge the life of my one pawn that perished. Yeah, there's no stalemate tricks when white has so many pawns. Okay, at this point, I'm trying to just checkmate efficiently. The a3 and then mate in a few more moves. Okay. I got my pawn mate. GG. Yeah, I maybe should have found a way to not allow f3. Overextended my e-pawn a little bit. All right, back to tournament. I gained a rating point for that. Number 1001. Here we go. What opening to play now? What openings do people like? Caro, okay. Couple people want the Caro-Kann. I usually don't play Caro-Kann, but it's an easy opening to learn, like c6, d5. A lot of players will trade like this. And now we have a slightly imbalanced structure. Okay, let's keep developing. Knights before bishops. Nothing too special just yet. I'm calmly developing. I'm not sure where this bishop wants to go. Like either d6 or b4 most likely. So I'm trying to stay flexible. Opponent wants to hurt me. If I take on d3, maybe bishop b4 first. So I'm allowing pawn f5. And the idea would be after takes, I put the bishop on h5. All right, that's a very bold decision. Let's start with knight e4. The problem now for white is this pin is very hard to resolve. I'll take with bishop. Rook's attacked. Wow. Yeah, there's a potentially funny line coming up. There's a very big threat in this position, which white did address, although I don't know if it helps. I was threatening to trap the queen, but I still play this. And then, assuming the queen moves somewhere, I'll take and queen a5, and it's very close to mating. Yeah, the king tried to find safety here, but it found the opposite of safety. Okay, I can take on c3. Question, why not queen b6? Yeah, the two moves were very similar in both mating threats. I think I just pre-move this. Oh, no. King b1's a legal move. I was thinking queen c4, I still play queen a1. So there's a split second where white could have played king b1, and I would have pre-moved queen a1. Thankfully, that didn't happen, though. Okay, that was pleasant. This is a takeaway. Sometimes when you commit your king, you have to be very, very careful. And then, yeah, the bishop should have gone to f4 in the opening. Some improvements. But that was a fun Caro-Kann. So moving up. So as I move up, my opponents should like generally get higher rated. But there's a lot of players in this tournament. Over 6,500. I could berserk. But again, the purpose of these games is more for educational value. Maybe some for entertainment. Oh, playing, okay, not berserking. Playing someone who's almost 2,300. Omnivore 95. Playing e4. You gotta have at least one Ponziani, right? I know there's a lot of Ponziani fans out there. So knight f6 is probably the most common move. We're entering one of the main lines. Play queen b3. There's really only one good move for black in this position. But given my opponent's thinking, probably out of their prep, outside their comfort zone. Thank you, your daddy. I appreciate your words. Happy 11 months. I will try to mix up the openings for future games. Generally, if there's an opening that you want to see, it's best to request it like between games. Thank you, French Salmon. Subbing with Prime for 16 months. Yeah, so for anyone who plays Ponziani, like you should know how to get to this position. And this is where things can kind of branch out. Black has a few different moves. This, and this are probably most common. The general rule, if black moves a d-pawn, we just pin the knight. And now there is a threat of pawn d5. Welcome back to Gary Loves Pizza. Happy 32 months. Okay, bishop d7. Time to castle. I was just thinking about this. I'm wondering if I have this move, knight g5. This is a position I probably should have studied before. Knight g5, queen e7. Take on d6. That looks good for me. There's pawn d5. Okay, so knight g5, pawn d5, I take. take, bishop e3, pawn f4. Giving away light sword bishop. Let's try it. This is a type of move that could backfire. But it can also pose like a lot of big questions to my opponent. So I'm being very direct. Like I want to take f7 and checkmate. And d5 I think was one of the only moves. And the issue is that this pawn is hanging and my bishop's attacked. So I think my only option is to take. I could throw in this move though. But I think the queen gets misplaced on f3. So I'd rather take. And now, yeah, something like f4 or even pawn e6. What's happening after pawn e6? Like, I'm usually not this aggressive when playing Ponziani. Like usually you just like develop and control the center. But I feel like there's an opportunity here. So 2 attackers against f7. f6 doesn't help because knight f7 still. If takes, and the knight's kind of wreaking havoc in black's position. Like one calculation is takes, queen e7, then rook e1. And my knight would be pinned to the rook, but there'd be a threat of knight c7. And black can't castle there because I'm controlling d8. So there's a line king d7, queen h3. Yeah, some crazy lines potentially. Maybe we'll see this. But then still rook e1. I think going back, black should have taken with the pawn and left the bishop covering e6. So, okay, rook e1. It's a major alignment. And bishop e7 hangs g7, which maybe we'll see. I'm also threatening this move, though. And bishop e7, maybe just bishop f4, and if I can take c7, I like either win the knight or rook or both. So king f7. But still bishop f4. Or queen f3. I think bishop f4. Pieces are coming in very quickly. I kind of forgot about this move. Probably not a huge deal. I have queen e3. Black's threatening mate in 1, so I have to be a little bit careful. There's also queen d1. I'll take a moment here. If I take the queen... position still looks nice, but maybe black is putting up some resistance. Okay, so queen d1. What's happening? Rook e8. Queen e3, rook e8. If I take, and then knight c3. Could play rook e2. I could play knight c3 right away as well. I really felt like I was going to be winning like within a few moves, but it's not so simple anymore. So rook e1, knight g5. Or, queen d1, rook e8, knight g5. Calculation. And some bishop e5. I think at this point I'm just looking for a way to cleanly win the c7 pawn. There should be a way, like take... Maybe even that's not so simple. Knight c6 takes bishop d6. Okay, I see a line. It's not the most... It's not the most, like, energizing, but... Basically, I think we're going to trade queens. Black's going to defend the pawn. And then I'll take, and then I just have really good minor pieces. Like, the two knights should overpower these two. I'll have knight g5 and eventually this move. Sometimes it's tough to, like, switch the mindset from thinking that I'm winning quickly with, like, a crushing attack to realizing I have to trade queens and play positionally in the endgame. I like the prospect of having the double pawns. Like, even though pawns might look weak, a pawn on b3 will restrict the knight. And it'll be constant pressure against e5. Now, maybe there's a chance black doesn't take. I would like the time to maybe avoid the queen trade. Why not queen c2? Queen c2 would have hung mate in one, I think. Ooh. Okay, so candidate moves are knight g5, take, and queen c2. Queen c2 take here, king g8. It's almost mating. I don't have so much time. I just take and then queen c2. Or queen c2 right away. Queen c2 right away should be better here. I was a little bit concerned about takes. But in between move, I can always take back with queen. And let's see how I'm like mating immediately. But now the rook's tied down to h7. And knight g5 is always lingering as well. It's turning into a blitz game. Both now below 3 minutes. I mean, practically Bach probably should have gone for queen takes queen. Thank you, Truth 218. There's a question about knight d2 instead of knight c3. Yeah, both moves basically have the same idea, defending the rook and developing the knight. I think it was more a matter of taste. Okay, queen f5. Debating what piece to take with. Take with knight. Queen d4, rook e7, queen f6. Okay, this should be good though. I was just trying to calculate, like here, I have queen e6. Okay, now rook e6. But then bishop d7. Not super simple. Rook e3. Yeah, this first. Trying to prepare rook e7. So I'm threatening mate. I'm preparing ideas like knight e6. I probably have to take here. Black's still surviving though. But my pieces are still happy. Rook's tied down to the h-pawn. This rook wants to enter the game. I think rook e1 is coming very soon. Maybe this maneuver. All right, going into e5 with a knight. It's a long fight. Maybe f4 now. Like if I can set up knight e5 Open the F file. Ooh. I think queen h3 now. I'm poking and prodding. And g3. More patient move. Am I getting my queen trapped? Wow, my queen's trapped. Queen just got trapped. Thankfully, time is on my side. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh no, my queen. Yeah, it was one of those points where, okay, I got way too relaxed. Maybe queen c8 the previous move. I wanted to defend f4. Yeah, queen c8 was just a big blunder. And knight e6 wasn't really on my radar, because in this position, I would just take and win the knight. Okay. I'm fortunate to have still won that. I think overall it was a very pleasant game, coming from a pleasant opening. If we just see what the engine says. So a6 is dubious because of this idea. d5 takes. Yeah, I was thinking pawn takes is better. But then, okay, then the queen can swing over. Okay, that was a fun opening. That was a happy little accident. Yeah. A very Bob Ross-like chess game. Sicilian Khan or Taimanov, please. Could play Taimanov. That's one of my go-to Sicilian variations. I don't think I'll play the rest of the tournament. Like almost 4 more hours. I'll play a handful more games though. Why would queen be out of position on f3? Oh, in that line, the queen on f3 would prevent the knight from coming back to f3. Okay. Sicilian time. So I'm going to play Taimanov, just because Backring Jr. cheered 100 bits. We got an e4 game. But are we going to see open Sicilian? Usually with knight f3, white's likely to play d4, but this is also playable. And if you play like Sicilian Khan or Taimanov, you do have to be prepared for c3 on move 3. Kind of like a delayed Alapin Sicilian. Also kind of like a Ponziani of the Sicilian. This is a line I usually like to go for. And the reason for taking with queen is there's no knight c3 to easily remove the queen from the center. Maybe Scandi will come later. But I'll try and have like every game as a different opening. Satisfy as many of these opening requests as possible. Alright, so generally taking isn't too concerning. I can start by taking on d1. And queens are traded. But black has a bit more active development. And with queens traded, sometimes the king is like justified to come to e7. Although here I'm not sure. King e7. I think it makes sense. Because later, like as we approach the endgame, the king's happier towards the center. We can start with b6. This bishop really wants to go to the long diagonal. And this would threaten to take the bishop, but bishop d6. Yeah, just trying to get some nice piece harmony. Yeah, delayed bomb cloud. It's actually a common mistake I see at lower levels. Like after queens are traded, players are still inclined to castle. So I think they're following opening principles. This case, it was maybe a toss-up. Like maybe there's some argument that the king is a target in the center still. I still have to be careful of these ideas or like this idea. Bear with me one moment. Okay, bishop g5. I think bishop g5, I have h6. Allowing the bishop to come back. Okay, the bishop wants to come to g3. I'm trying to get a sense of like what's going to happen in the next few moves. Like g5 is a consideration. Bishop g3. We trade, put a rook on d8, knight d4. Not seeing so much of an edge. I think I'll start with rook d8. Natural move. Only fully open file. Thank you, ETDM. It's the first time Prime sub. Bishop c2. I have rook c8. Generally, rooks like to be on open files and half open files. I'm trying to figure out if this rook serves any purpose here. Because there would be an idea like knight b4. Like knight b4, knight d5 could be interesting. Might as well. I'm just trying to optimize the pieces. You sometimes refrain to talk about chat comments because you don't understand the jokes. I'm not getting the joke there. But I guess I still address a comment. Sometimes chat is just very difficult to keep up with. And there's so many comments that I can't address everything. And I also have to keep in mind that people are going to be watching in the future on YouTube, at least maybe. So when I'm playing a game, I try and keep it like on topic as much as possible to the position. Sometimes there will be interesting comments or questions that I'll bring up, but other times I don't want to get like too sidetracked. So knight b4. I mean, the dream is to get the bishop pair. Like if takes, I'd be very happy. Knight b4 does maybe provoke this move. And then trying to understand what's going on there. Take. Some g5 move. I think I'll go for knight b4. So the calculation, obviously I'm hitting the bishop, so white doesn't have too many options. Bishop e4 I think is most likely. And then I would take, and if knight takes, I fork. So bishop e4 takes, rook would have to take. And then I have this move knight d3. That's a little bit hard to understand, but knight would be attacking the pawn, and the pawn's tied down to defending this pawn. I'm also threatening g5 there, breaking the pin and then essentially winning material. Now the bishop doesn't move to e4. Moves to b3, I have the same move. It moves to b1. Maybe that's the safest option. But then I move to d5. That was really the point when I played rook c8. I was imagining as just a simple maneuver to get my knight to a better square. Because then maybe later, knight can come to f4, and then it combines well with the bishops. Thank you, Claw. Happy 16 months. I am playing the spring marathon. I did update the schedule on my site. I'm not sure if it like actually fully updated. It might take a little bit to sync, but I did schedule my streams for the next like 4 to 5 days. If you go to imrosen.com/schedule, we do have the schedule command. If people want to check and see if it's there, I think something is maybe weird with my browser cache. But knight d3, okay, hitting the rook and pawn. Oh, it's not there. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna have to see what's going on with that then. It was showing up earlier though. Basically, I'll have like 3 different streams coming up. Okay, rook e3. Can I take the pawn? There's rook b1 maybe coming. I actually have to calculate here. Knight b2, rook b1, bishop a3. I probably don't want to mess with. So knight f4 is maybe a safer approach. And then I still have access to d5. Yeah, so my next streams tomorrow is the start of the spring marathon. It's a 24-hour tournament. Basically starting at 7 p.m. April 14th, ending at 7 p.m. April 15th. And then on Monday, there's a streamer battle. Okay, knight c4. Bishop c5. Just hitting the rook. Yeah, I should have played bishop c5 the previous move. Like this position. Some reason it didn't cross my mind that the rook defends a knight. No, I'm not sure how strong. Like rook e2, maybe white's still defending. I'm trying to show that even without queens on the board, it's still possible to attack in the middle game. But maybe a little bit more difficult. I wonder if I can play g5 now. And g5, bishop g3, and then take. And then king takes, and then g4. Looks good. Anything better? Maybe white like plays 95 and tries to win back the pawn. But at the very least, we're trading. It should benefit black, I assume. Yeah, I think we're likely to see this or this. I'm thinking if knight f3. At first I was thinking rook d3, but then bishop d1 didn't really see a great follow-up. So if knight takes f3, there's a move knight e4 with essentially two ideas to exploit the knight, either knight d2 or knight g5. If the king moves, I take the bishop and win material. So I think, like, if I were white, I'd probably move the king, but then the pawn remains on f3. Yeah, if the king has to move, it's really not good for white. Okay, rook d2. I still have knight e4 as well. Knight e4. Kind of spoiled for choice. He's starting with rook d2. Okay, I kind of forgot about this move. I don't think it's too bad, though. I also forgot about that move. But it shouldn't be that bad. Rook g8. Wait, rook g8. I could just move my king too. Does that work? There. I think it works. Moving the king is so fancy. So I'm allowing bishop takes knight, but then I get a windmill. Okay. And do I just win all the pawns first? I guess I do. Wait. Let's take on b2 first. Because if the king moves here, f2 is mating. Now do I want to take another pawn? I also have this move, like rook g2, king h1, f2, which looks completely winning. But maybe I do that after winning a2. Oh, but then there's... No, I don't want to allow rook a7. So let's start with this. Wait a minute. There. I'm just trying to be extra careful here. I'm pretty sure... Yeah, let's just do this. Let's not fool around. Okay, this is a mate. Right? Yeah, okay. Getting a little bit tired from these games. That was a fun one, though. Was king f8? Oh, king f8 was fine. Maybe wasn't my cleanest, but I think overall I was in control. Knight f4 was apparently a blunder. Oh, bishop f4. A missed opportunity. And a rook e2? I guess then white's position is just crumbling. I can take on b2. Yeah, I was trying to, I mean, this is apparently forced mate. I was just trying to make sure of the line knight d7 check. And then, oh, this is actually very simple. In my calculations, I was thinking, oh, I just take back and white's dead. But black to move checkmate in one. Rook g1, a double checkmate. Okay, that was a fun game. Moving on to the next one. So how many games have I played? Played 7 games. Maybe I'll try and get to 10. Maybe I'll try and get to 2600. Last 2 opponents were like just under 2300. T-Nest Ranger says 1000 bits for Wayward Queen Attack. 41 Matt asking for pentatonic during the marathon. Maybe. Not sure. I have to be in the right frame of mind. I'll see though. Okay, Wayward Queen Attack. I've been bribed. So this opening, it's not actually like that bad. Especially with Queen e7, I think. Queen e7 already I have some knight d5 ideas. Although knight d4 is coming. I think I just move back. And d3. Okay, well I got my Wayward Queen Attack. Opponent didn't fall for the 4-move checkmate. But I did misplace the queen. It'd be funny if we see queen d8 and then it's just a bishop's opening. Play d3 here. Yeah, as far as I know, like the best move is g6. Queen here and then knight f6. I guess black can still kind of transpose. Although g6 might be not a good move because here and then knight d5. So h6, interesting. All right, let's play 92. Going for castling, and I just want to complete development, eventually get f4 in. Thank you, Simply Chad, with the prime sub. Yeah, this is very Vienna-like now. Not sure if I can maintain the bishop. But usually, like in the Vienna, it's okay to allow the trade and open the d file. I was looking at knight d5 briefly. There is a funny line. Knight d5 takes c6, and I take on f7 and play b4 to trap the knight. But I don't think it's necessary. So I've usually played these structures as black, but usually when I play them as black, I already have the bishops developed. Okay, so this bishop wants to come to b7. If I play knight g3, there's pawn g6. If I play knight d5, knight d5 takes, rook b8. Not sure if I'm getting much there. Actually, not sure. Just start with like f3 or bishop e3. Starting with f3. I'm actually not sure what to do. I'm gonna slow play. Like bishop e3, pawn b3. Get some setup where like, everything's solid and harmonious. And maybe much later I'll play knight d5. Like if I run out of ways to improve. But I don't want to force matters too soon. I'll play knight g3 first. Some ideas of knight f5. We might see g6. Queen d8. Okay, so the queen has triangulated by move 11. I assume the idea is to meet knight f5 with bishop f5. Which there's some logic to. It's a little bit frustrating. Like I can't punish the fact that black had only one piece developed after 11 moves. But I think it's just a matter of improving my own setup. Like waiting for some opportunity. Creating the battery, so maybe it looks a little bit scary to castle here. Welcome back to Emberg. Yeah, if I saw this position without having seen the opening, I would not have thought it was a wayward queen attack. Like both of our queens kind of changed their minds. But I think it was kind of an opening success. I'm curious what the engine will say about queen e7. Like it's not easy for black to find a clear plan. And of course, black can complete development like bishop e6, castle, maybe queen d7. On the flip side, what is my plan? And maybe now knight f5. Yeah, start targeting the weak points. Rook g8. Wow. So Black's not castling kingside. After a move like this, I'm very tempted to like try and open the center. But there's not really a great pawn break. Like, do I go for queen f2? You start with queen f2. I'm trying to set up a situation where the rook is pinning the pawn, and then I play c5. Just try and like open things up a little bit. Okay, Black wants to play g6. Play bishop g5. Wait a minute, bishop g5. Okay, time for arrows. Knight takes e4, bishop e7. Knight f2, bishop d8. I'll be winning a piece in that line. And if g6, this would be blunderous because takes, and queen h4, and knight would be dead. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, it's a pretty brutal pin. So the queen moved from here, from d8 to e7, and it kind of completed its triangle of, let's start with bishop f6. Threatening the quadruple fork. Okay, now threatening a simple double fork. It's funny, anywhere the king moves, I fork the king and the rook. Like if here, knight e7, if here, knight f6. And if the king doesn't move, it's still a fork. Although, okay, I can take, and if takes, I throw in the check. Take with king, keep the pawn defended. Oh, but this pawn's not defended. Okay, I'm up a knight and a bishop for a pawn. Now the big question, can I win this game without capturing a single black pawn? All the pawns are intact. But it's all about getting to the king. So the plan, the reason for bishop e3 is I want to play this and then meet c6 with queen e7. Try and get all the pieces working towards the black king. Yeah, now 3 attackers. But to actually crash through, that involves me capturing a pawn. Look at this chain of defense. King defends a pawn, defends a pawn, defends a pawn, defends a knight, defends a bishop, defends a rook, attacks the pawn. Welcome back, Singapore backgammon. Happy 31 months. Yeah, if you're just joining, been playing a lot of Rapid Chess this stream. I think this is like my 8th or 9th game. It's a yearly Rapid Arena. Probably a few more games after this one. Oh yeah, defends the king. That's true. It's not much use in like directly defending the king. Okay, let's take. Now it's so important that I don't hang maiden 1. Okay, check. Wait a minute. Also important that I don't mouse up. Queen c8. Oh, I took a pawn. Oh, the world hasn't ended yet, thankfully. There's a funny line. King a5, queen c3. King goes back. And then queen d3. A funny way to trade queens. I'm trying to calculate like some mate, but don't think there's anything too forcing. I might just play like h4 or h3 just for safety. Like what to do here? Knight b4, king b5. I'll just play h3. Everything's defended. Pawn, yeah, like again, I have this chain of defense. Indestructible position. I could have forced a draw like with perpetual, but I have greater ambitions in life. Yeah, there may have been fancier continuations. I like this move h3 though. It's like a delayed ding. Okay. Like if I was 2800, I'd be playing h3 on move 4. Someday I'll get there. Okay, now I check. King b5, I fork. King a5, I'll still provoke the fork. Or I provoke the skewer. And now the king can't stay next to its lady. Okay. Well, I won with a wayward queen attack. There is someone who offered me 1,000 bits to play that opening. Not sure if the bits ever arrived, but it was a fun game nonetheless. Took me a while to capture a pawn. It was very Vienna-like. Queen e7. I think there's some funny line, like g6 and then pawn f5. I saw some Jonathan Trance thumbnail with this position. But queen e7. Engine says it's a draw. Oh, thank you, Gary. Yeah, I got the victory bits. My pieces formed some sort of V for victory. All right, moving on. How many games was that? 8 games total. Oh, thank you to Nest Stranger. I think who was the one who challenged me to play such an opening. Also says, wanted to say very proud of your performance at Reykjavik. I appreciate that. Also, thank you, Krell. Happy 22 months. All right, so someone wanted a Scandi earlier. Maybe multiple people wanted a Scandi. Oh yeah, Ace Midman and Charian. So it's Scandi time. Generally, when I play the Scandi, I like to play knight f6. There's a lot of different approaches when playing Scandi, but I found this to be a pleasant line. This is already considered to be preferable for black, as far as I know. Although it seems like white's a little bit prepared. Huh. Yeah, this is new for me. So queen a5 comes to mind, which pins the pawn. Essentially preparing like e5, knight c6. Okay. I'll play in the style of like kind of a mainline Scandi. The knights are traded, which if anything should probably benefit black. Now pawn e5. And if white can't play d4, then this d4 square can easily become a very weak square in white's territory. I play this move. Have to be careful sometimes with overextending. e4 knight e1. Let's do it. So the line I'm calculating is knight e1, bishop f5, and then if d3 or d4, I take bishop takes and castle. Oh, but then takes with check. Probably still want to play bishop f5. Also, thanks to all the resubs. Appreciate it. I also have this move. How to do this. There. Okay, let's start with bishop f5. Seems like this keeps my options open. We'll see what white's up to. Yeah, d4 is probably the best try. I was thinking about castling queenside here, allowing d5. Could en passant, but that allows the pieces to come to life. Take. Wait a minute. How about this? Takes, castle. Takes with check, I just take back. And still a more active position. If knight takes, I pin. Yeah, I think we're going to get a situation where like box pieces are just a little bit happier. Have to watch out for tactics. Yeah, the only concern is bishop d2. But at very least, like bishop e4. Okay, so I'm hitting the queen. Maybe we'll see queen f3. Yeah, this is a case where the pawn would probably like to move backwards. Kind of like the idea of queen g6. Keeping the knight restricted. Yeah, the problem with the pawn on c4 is it doesn't really restrict my knight. My knight's ready to hop in. I'm already dreaming of Anastasia's mate. Like knight d4, sack my queen. Let me change my arrow settings. I want to draw an arrow from g6 to h2. Like every so often, my lichess settings like return to the default. I don't know why. All right, let's start with this. I can't play knight d4. Might as well complete development. Yeah, this is auto snap. Game is it game behavior? Arrow. Yeah, so this setting. Now, there we go. The illegal arrows. Hey, welcome back to Mike Elders. Hasn't caught a stream in many months, but subbing for 25 months. Appreciate that. Okay, so the idea of rook c1 is probably to bring the knight in. My queen was controlling c2. Knight e5 comes to mind. Pawn f5 comes to mind too. Thank you, Leo Spaceman. Wait a minute. Knight e5, queen g3, knight g4. Bishop f4. I'm trying to make something work here. Maybe h5 in that line. I like the prospect, though, of just having the knight in the center. There's also queen h3 check. Then I guess I move over. Yeah, let's not take too much time. I have to move a little bit quicker. Down about 2 minutes. I think king b8's the simplest. So no more worries about a7. c5 could be a little bit worrisome. But c6 is covered. I'm actually kind of struggling to find a plan here. My pieces are reasonable. Maybe this bishop can be improved. And this rook. So maybe ideas of like f5, bishop f6. It's just hard to like attack immediately. Like I want to generate tactics. Ooh. Okay, white's attacking immediately. f5 may be coming. If I play this, f5, I think wins material. So maybe knight c6. There's also knight d3, but how to do this. Knight d3, take. There's some c6 move. Looks okay though. I was very reluctant to like trade my active knight for white's passive knight. But now this situation, rook pinning the bishop looks nice. It could get messy. This could be double-edged. Always have to be careful of like these ideas. But my rook's defended, so I think this arrow is more powerful than this arrow. All right, put the queen in. White's playing a good game though. Maybe had a difficult position from the opening. It's still managing. It's equal material. Maybe now I'm threatening some like bishop g5. Rook f3. I really want to take, but then king h1. I don't know if rook d8 works. What does white want to play? Bishop f2 isn't really a threat. Actually, let's play this move. But then let's play this move. Just centralize. Bishop f2, I have rook d1. I'm just trying to calculate c6. Bishop f6. So c6, I play b6. Or maybe I'm already threatening some ideas of taking. But it feels like the pieces have found happy places. And it feels like there should be tactics very soon. Like this is probably a big threat now. There's also some back rank ideas. I think you said Smet becoming half a baby. Actually 2/3 of a baby. 6 months. 9 is usually the goal. King f2. All right, so I think it's time to simplify. I think take. And then bishop d4. And then the problem for white is it's not easy to immediately resolve the pin. And I'm going to be able to win some pawns and then simplify. And what might happen is we get to a king pawn ending where I'm up a pawn. And that's really all I need to win. Yeah, so let's take here first. There's only a few legal moves. You can take here. There's a funny line. Queen takes f7, rook takes e3. It looks like I'm getting back rank mated, but then rook e8, and it's check, and I win the queen. Okay, so here, I mean, white's completely stuck. I can just keep improving. As long as the rook's pinned. And all these things are tied down to defending the pinned rook. But any point I could just take and get the winning king pawn ending. Queen f4. Okay, we'll take once. King c8 first. Just making sure everything's covered. Next move, I'll take the rook. There's a lot of ways to do this. Eventually, I'll start pushing the queenside pawns. Just some gradual expansion. There's always a hope of playing a5 and then at the right moment play a6 when white hopes I pre-move something, but yeah, there's plenty of time here. Oh, wait a minute. G3, king e3. No, let's just take. Okay, yeah. Pushing the pawn would be a bad pre-move. Okay. I gained 1 rating point for that game. I think overall it was a pleasant game. White was under a bit of pressure from the opening, managed to like almost fight back, but there was always this like lingering pressure. Maybe I had some missed opportunity like earlier. Not sure though. Okay, Engine said I played at 95% accuracy, but I made 5 inaccuracies. That's probably due. That's where my 5 percentage points went. So let's see. So F5 instead of 95. Engine like queen to G4 here. And then, yeah, I think I was in control the whole game though. Kind of see the graph. At some point, Black's advantage was too big for the graph to handle. Oop, yearly rapid. Okay, so I played 9 games. Do I play one more game? I guess I will. Oh, thank you earlier to Jimly. Said WP Gamer. I assume WP stands for well played. Okay, what opening to play? Oh, someone wants a Grob. Okay. Oh, it's Tiness Stranger wants a Grob. Says too broke to offer more bits, but would love to see a Grob Gambit. Your wish is my command. Oh no, my Grob Pong. Alright, what is this? E5. Black's just following principles. Let's play C4. So I'm gambiting the Grob pawn. G stands for Grob. I mean, the idea with this opening is to really exploit this diagonal. Wow, this opening is paying off. I got the fork. Grob is just too strong. Yeah, I don't usually play the Grob, but when I do, I win in 6 moves. Okay. That was fun. Thanks for the suggestion. I mean, it would have been hard to suggest a different opening that would lead to such a quick win. Yeah, that game was maybe quick enough for a YouTube short. All right, we'll do one more. Do I play the Grob again? I feel kind of addicted now. Thank you, Pawn Garden. Appreciate the bits. Okay, I'm building my garden with these pawns. Or at least a singular pawn. E5 is a very fine move. So I think what I'll do is I'll play a Scandi. It's a reverse Scandi, but G4 included. And maybe this has some logic because in cases where knight f6 is played, then G5 happens. Opponent is declining my Grob Scandi. Okay, I'm out of prep. So what's happening here? And the usual move is this. But then the knight kind of comes in, and then I have this move maybe. I'm trying to understand this. I could play Caro-Kann reverse with g4 included. Probably not a great idea. I think I'd prefer an open position. Not sure though. Is there any way to gambit the pawn? Let's take first. Maybe I'll just allow the knight to take the pawn. Like bishop g2. I could play h3, but there's also queen d4. Queen d4 is kind of interesting, actually. Attacking and defending. If knight here, then I can go back to my Scandi lines. Opponent's hoping for this and allowing the pork. Bishop g2, perhaps. I don't mind queen d4. We trade, I play c3. Thank you, Raya Vincent. Okay, let's play knight c3. Wait a minute. Is it time for h3? No, let's go full aggro. I want to play knight d5. I'm giving up the pawn. So not winning this game as quickly as the last one, but having fun. I feel like the opening play has been justified in some sense. Like got the bishop to g2, got the pawn to g5, maybe f4 coming, knight d5 is in the air. Thank you, Lorgan, too. Yeah, now knight d5, hitting the queen. Also hitting the pawn, so queen d8 is really the only move. And now pawn f4. Making gradual progress. Now, it's easy just to play queen e4 and check, but after bishop e7, I'm not seeing a great follow-up. It looks pleasant visually. But I'm thinking queen c3 might pose more problems for black. Queen c3, knight b6. Maybe I'll play queen e4 and then this. It's weird to develop the bishop in front of the e-pawn, but I'm finding some weird piece harmony. And if black wants to castle, it's kind of castling into the pawn storm. Like maybe castling queenside here. Might see this and this. But it feels like we're getting a situation where it's so much easier for white to attack on the king side rather than black attacking on the queen side. Thank you, 926 Andy from South Dakota. Okay. Here we're getting some tactics. Yeah, I think my opponent missed the X-ray vision. Although it's still... What's material? It's maybe some material for the queen. Okay, the bishop should have taken. Because now it's only, what, rook and pawn for queen. Okay, f5. And the attack does not stop. It is a question if I want to go for f6 or g6. Probably f6. I mean, black can kind of just ignore this. I still have to figure out like how I break through. I really want to play g6, but how would that work? a3 might be coming. Let's start with a3 myself. I'm preventing any like alpha 0 type pawn move. Okay, now I could play c4. Queen defends the pawn, attacks the bishop. If we trade, I'm happy. Okay, now I'm even more happy. Thank you, dude. Happy 2 years to dude 2519. I see the comment from Zaidmal Nori saying, I saw YouTube videos that I made where I play the London, and you want to see me play it live. Yeah, it's one of these days. It's a rare stream where I've played a lot of games, but I haven't played a London. I mean, if you watch me live enough, you'll see many occasions of the London. But today is not quite a London day. Also, what to do here? Takes. I mean, everything's winning, but I still want to be clean. 95 maybe? I guess 95. So I'm allowing rook b5 check and then king a2. I'm going after f7. Ooh. Well, I got my Rosen trophy. Okay. We're finishing things with a pawn mate. Okay, that was a fun game. I mean, the Grob is generally kind of a sketchy opening, but I made it work a couple times. How many times have I played the Grob? You see my opening tree. So G4 is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is my 12th most popular move. And I've played it 22 times online. I score pretty well with it. I think it's considered to be the worst possible first move, at least according to the engines. But still has some venom, perhaps. Thank you, Friar Truck. Or Friar Tuck. Also, thank you, the Maverick. Subbing for 12 months. In honor of my 12th most popular move. Yeah, we can see, like, look at this. After move 1 as white, minus 1.7. The bird opening, I think, is only like minus point something, 0.3. F3 is minus 0.8. And this uses like very high depth because it uses like cloud analysis. What's A4? Only minus 0.2. H4. And it's funny how H4 is clearly worse than A4. Thank you, Sovereign UK. Knight H3. Minus 0.5. That's not bad. Yeah, because there's this idea of just fianchettoing and then later F4. Andrew Tang plays this sometimes. So I was supposed to play D5 here, 97. I didn't like the prospect of knight G6 to H4. I will say, as black, I'll share my opening prep against a Grob. I've shared this a few times on stream. But as black, I basically have a single move of prep is to play pawn E5. And then it's just about knowing 3 arrows. This. Because most players will play bishop G2. Like most common move by far. And then knight E7. And knight E7 is like much less common. But it's a nice idea. And it's very hard to stop the knight from coming in, kicking the bishop. And it's engine approved. Although the engine will say H5 is better here. Also, the engine will say D5 is the best move. But then it changes its mind. Maybe still isn't quite up to date with Grob theory. Man, over 10 million games with the Grob. Wait, does it say 2 billion? Did Lichess just like add a lot more games to the database? Or maybe it just dynamically updates. This says 2 billion, right? This is such an underrated feature. Like I use it all the time, but like so much respect to Lichess for like crunching through all the data. Because even though it's just like text files, 2 billion, that's a lot to process. Oh yeah, how many people have played F3? F3 is not within the most common moves. But this position has been reached. Oh, that's funny. The most common move here is D5. Missing Queen H4 checkmate. Ouch. Yeah, it used to be the Lichess wouldn't show games that were 2 moves or less. It's funny how like white has won so many games from this position. Okay, only 18%, but that's a big number given that black is mating in 1 here. So anyway, I'm gonna pause the tournament. Pause. Okay. So no more games. Finished cleanly. I think I gained like a few rating points. I hope people enjoyed the chess. Maybe learned a thing or two. I do appreciate all the returning viewers, new viewers, new subscribers, resubscribers. I will be back tomorrow for the spring marathon. 'Tis the season. It's also the season of allergies. Like, weather is so much nicer now but all the plants are blooming, so what to do? Thank you, Willie Styles and Jammer. I appreciate the subs. Jammer with the first time Prime sub. Yeah, if you're new here or maybe not aware, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub for free. You get ad-free viewing, get access to all the VODs on Twitch, get the emotes. But for now, I'm going to send a raid to the one and only Daniel Neraditsky. I think there was a user in chat earlier, Denial Neraditsky. I guess Daniel is an anagram of denial. Let's send some good vibes. Looks like he's doing some narrow blitzky is his stream title. And I'll be back tomorrow. Probably around 7 p.m. Maybe for the start. The marathon tournaments are always tricky because I have to kind of pace myself, so I might start shortly after the tournament. But a lot of chess to come. I'll see you guys soon.